Guys, welcome back. Today we are talking the 5 worst things about the Ryobi RTS11, or things that we think you should know before buying. Stay tuned. All right guys, number 1 on our list is actually the blade guard and how the blade guard works with the table saw. First off, we don't like how flimsy this is. You can see how much movement there is side to side on this blade guard. It is nice that it goes up all the way and out of the way if you don't want it there, but in general, we don't love the movement that it has. Now, one thing that you guys pointed out is the riving knife in the back can be raised and lowered. And that was one complaint that we had, is the kickback on the back here. The kickback doesn't actually work really well in the lower position, which if you watch our setup video, we didn't show or explain how to raise that. So real quick, you can release the blade guard and it comes out. Lift out the blade access here, and inside there is a place to quickly loosen and adjust this riving knife. And as you see here, just like that, and then blade guard, blade cover back on, and then back on there. And now your kickback has much more room and you can cut bigger pieces of wood. We weren't even able to cut 2x4s with the riving knife down at its lowest setting. So it's one thing you have to do in order to cut some of the bigger wood and keep your blade guard on. Now you might say that's not a complaint because once I get the saw, I'll raise the riving knife all the way up and I'll have my blade guard on. However, that would be great, except let's say you want to lower the blade to have a flat surface. If we move our fence out of the way and we go ahead and take off our blade guard and we take away our push, then we can go ahead and start lowering the saw blade. However, what you will notice is once we get down to where the saw blade is below the table, the riving knife stays up just enough. You can see just about a hand's or finger's thickness and creates a protrusion right here. So that means, again, we have to open the blade access, reach down, and lower the riving knife. So guys, that's the first thing that we don't like about this saw, is how all of that works together. If the blade was able to go down further to completely cover the riving knife so that you weren't having to move the position each time you wanted a flat surface, that'd be great. Or if the position moved while you raised and lowered it, that'd be great. But just in general, the way that whole system works is the first thing we don't like about this saw. The second thing we don't like about this saw is actually on the back. If we turn this around, this saw, like most table saws, has an exhaust at the bottom so that you can blow out any sawdust that's gathered or been accumulated inside the saw. And we do like how big that access port is. However, the unfortunate thing, if you have the 6-gallon portable Ryobi shop vac, the access port here is too big to plug in a hose, which means you need an adapter for that. So while we like how big it is, and while it might work with a shop vac or other vac, the fact that it's not compatible with its Ryobi counterparts is the second thing we don't like about this table saw. The third thing, guys, we don't like about this table saw is on the front, and it's actually the power switch. While it has a nice big red power switch on the front, and it does technically have a way to lock underneath, it does not have its own key, a removable key that you can disengage or stop this saw from being used. Once you've plugged this in and flipped the switch, the saw is on, which again leads to the first issue with the riving knife and the saw blade, because if it's up, that will begin spinning. So one thing that we've had to do is lower the blade each time we're done using it, just to guarantee that nobody is able to accidentally plug in or engage the saw. Where a simple key system like some of their other tools, and that's the third thing we don't like about this saw. All right guys, the fourth thing we don't like about this table saw is the size of the table itself. While it has 12 inches on one side, the other side maxes out at just over 8 inches. And for a table saw with this kind of power, we really feel like it should have a full 12 inches. And we understand that they were going for portability with this table saw, especially with the folding table legs, but just a few more inches on the one side to make it an even 12 on both really would have evened out this saw and given it that much more flexibility. All right guys, the last thing we don't like about this saw is really more of a wish list item. While we understand this is a powered saw or a corded saw, we really wish that it was battery powered. Ryobi has the 1+1 system, and we think that a table saw of this size could be and should be 1+1 battery powered portable table saw. And that's the last thing we don't like about this saw. So guys, that's our list. Do you agree with our list, or are there other things that you dislike more about this saw? Let us know in the comments below, and make sure to like if you did, subscribe, hit the bell to be notified of each and every time one of our videos goes live. Also check out our 5 best things we like about this saw, and make sure to comment below to let us know what tool you'd like to see next. Thanks for watching, guys. Now you'll notice we did not raise the rifle. Let's see what it's called.
Riving.
Wow. That was terrible. Battery.
I repeat myself way more than you do. My voice is getting mad at myself while I'm doing it.
I would really love it if you would start shaming Sam for not putting the moulding on my coat cupboard yet. So, anything you can do to like, that long.